How do I move this to make it like good? I don't know how to make it look good.
I think the lighting's bad. Should I go somewhere else?
Where else though?
Where's the sun?
The sun's right here.
Yeah, so maybe if we face the other way, we'll look better.
Careful of this car.
It's an old lady.
Never mind. Hey guys.
We're back for another mukbang. Mukbang or mukbang?
I think it's mukbang.
Okay.
This time we went to Chick-fil-A. There was 2 comments on the last video, so I think we know it was a good one because like I never get 2 comments.
Thanks for having me back.
I mean, it would have been someone else, but everyone said no, so I have to settle for Lily again, guys. Sorry.
I'm the girl that goes to Chick-fil-A and gets a salad, so please don't roast me.
Yeah, she's better than me.
But I also get a side of fries because of my carbs.
I got the Chick-fil-A sandwich and fries, basic, and then Lily got Chick-fil-A sauce too because I don't eat my fries with sauce. But we're gonna play the same game again, and hopefully we'll get better questions this time.
If you could ask God any single question, what would it be?
The first thing that came into my head was like, I don't know. I just like wonder what race Adam and Eve were.
Oh,
but I feel like it doesn't matter, obviously. But I'm just like curious because they were perfect. So like, what did they look like?
I feel like in the Middle East, they have very mixed features. Like some people are blonde with like blue eyes, and some people look like dark hair, brown eye. So they had a lot of like genetic features in them. Like they carried all of like the genetic genes that we see today. I think.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I wonder. What about you?
What happened to the dinosaurs? I'm like, I need to know.
I have a theory that they didn't even exist. Like I know there's fossils, but like, how do we even know they put them together right?
True. What color were they? I feel like, because like in Jurassic Park, some of them are like bluish, like reddish.
I honestly feel like all the bones they found, they just like put together in a big thing to make it seem like they were dinosaurs. But like, what if that's just like elephant bones, a wrong like configuration, you know?
Oh, that's a good question.
But I'm like not a science person or like a paleontologist, so probably not like a good source. Actually, not probably, definitely not.
Should I ask another? Do you want to open it?
Yeah, because you haven't eaten anything. Okay. If you were kidnapped and could only bring along one personal possession, what would you take?
A phone?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but like, then you would just like call for help. I guess I would bring something like heavy to like hit them over the head with so I could like run away. If you're not allowed to bring your phone.
A knife. Like if someone like kidnapped me, I feel like I would try to like poke their eyes out.
I don't know. If I was kidnapped, I think I would do a really good job of like getting myself unkidnapped. So I just think I would be good at like talking to them and like annoying them. Or I would act like I was like in on it, like I was crazy. You just gotta be like insane.
As they are, yeah.
I used to have such low self-esteem that I would think like, oh, it would be nice to be kidnapped because at least you know someone wants you. Like I used to believe that. Isn't that sad?
Who hurt you?
Myself. If you could choose exactly what to eat for your last meal, what would you eat?
Say a burger and fries. That would be my death row meal.
Really? Nothing like extravagant? Yeah, stick to the basics. Then you know it'll be good. How hard? Because can you imagine if you get something like extravagant, what if they mess it up? Then your last meal is like bad.
And usually extravagant meals like don't fill you up, you know? Like I feel like I want to be like stuffed. Because sometimes after I eat like a burger and fries, I like have this weird like haze. Because I'm just so like stuffed that I feel like I'm like high or something.
I don't got that.
Oh. Maybe you don't eat as much as I do.
I can't. I'll pay for it later. I try not to eat time on the toilet.
See, my stomach's like a tank. Also, I'm really constipated. Cut that out.
I need to eat some bran or something.
I've always been constipated.
I'm the opposite. I like get sick all the time. I'm gonna call it sick, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's good. Like bubble guts. If you had to confess to one crime you have already committed, what would you confess to?
Like, have I committed a crime?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever committed like a crime. I need to think. What about you?
I feel like mine is if you could tell your boss one thing with complete impunity, what would you say?
Oh, I think like impunity means like no consequences.
Oh, let's do it to Luke.
I would say, I don't know. I don't have anything like mean to say, but I would just be like, what's the big deal with wearing jeans? Like, can I just wear whatever I want? Can there just be no dress code? That's what I would ask him.
I don't think he would care. It's Anne the man.
No, but I feel like he would. If I was wearing jeans, he'd be like, all right.
That's when he would draw the line.
I think so.
But you have every other color jean, so.
Yeah, but colored jeans just look better. Like, if I showed up in these, he would be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
These are my pants for reference.
Yeah, her pants are annoying. Show them your shoes. She's really white, clean Jordans.
Jordan 1s. I gotta keep them
those
clean.
are retro ones. I've seen the colored ones.
I bought the, yeah, I didn't want to get the colored ones because I don't have enough stuff to go with them.
Oh, if you could have been told one thing that you weren't told when you were a teenager, what would you like to have heard?
I feel like I would want to say this, but I don't think I would get it, so it would be like redundant. But I would just be like, your parents are people. Like, they're just people, just like you. And they don't know everything, and you shouldn't expect them to know everything because they're literally the same as you. Like, they view themselves as like your age. Like, how you feel at this age is how they feel. They just have more wisdom based on their experiences in life, but that doesn't mean they don't like make mistakes. Like, they're just people. Like, I would try to get myself to understand that. I didn't understand that until like just recently, and when you get that, like, your whole world like changes, and it changes the way you treat your parents and how you treat older people in general. Because I think a lot of young people, especially Gen Z, they're like, look at this sad old woman, like, look at this Karen, like, look at this like old man, he's like so pitiful, like, look at him yelling at these people. And it's like, okay, yeah, you shouldn't yell at people, but they're just people. Like, they get overwhelmed and they act like she's like 45, she should know better. It's like, no, she shouldn't. Like, you get overwhelmed with your emotions too. Like, when you scream at your parents, when you get upset about like something, you act out and you show your emotions, and just because you're older doesn't mean you should have to bottle those up all the time. Like, yeah, you should understand like more about like self-awareness, but that doesn't mean that like you don't still make mistakes. So yeah, that's what I would say.
That's a good point.
What about you?
I feel like I would just be like if my future self could talk to like my high school self, I would just say, it's gonna be all right, kid. Just keep going.
When you're young, you just can't imagine the future, really. You really can't. Especially in high school. You can't imagine past high school. As much as you feel like, oh, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna have a future. It's like, no. None of that is going to be your future. And like, you can work towards it, yeah, but like, you will never be able to plan for your life. Like, you just will never be able to. And very few people do and can do it successfully. So like, I wouldn't put that expectation on myself.
I think I was just so stressed out about everything. I was just really stressed out with like school and the future, like you said. But that's a really good point. Like, you can't see the future when you're like a teenager. Like, you can just imagine it, but no one really thinks about the future anyways, because you're just all about like living in the moment.
It's hard because when you're young, you're like, you have such a big ego, even if you claim like, no, I don't, like, I'm so humble. You have such a big ego, and you're also insecure at the same time. So it's like, that's why it creates like this horrible combination. And that's why those are like the worst years of people's lives, like puberty years, when you have like a huge ego and you're insecure and you just project and project and project. It's just rough, man.
Yeah, you could not like pay me $1 million to like relive high school.
Yeah, me neither. Like, some parts of it are good, just like the certainty of life is kind of nice. You don't realize that either. You're like, oh, I can't wait till I can do whatever I want, but it's like, that is scary. Like, yes, freedom is nice, but also it's kind of scary. And to have such like wide open space too. Like, there's no structure in your life. There's no goals really to achieve unless you set them for yourself.
The perk is like when you're young and you do mess up, there's not a lot of like consequences.
Yeah, there really isn't any. The biggest consequence is like, oh, my mom will be upset, or like my dad will be upset. And that's like the thing also, is the downside of like realizing your parents are just people when you're so young too, is because some kids take advantage of that, because your parents really can't do anything to stop you from anything. So it could be detriment if you like use that against them. That's why I'm not having kids. There's just like way too many loopholes for it to just turn out bad.
Yeah, and like if I had a daughter that turned out like me, I would drive myself in. She would drive me insane. That's like my worst fear.
Yeah, same. That's what my dad was saying to me yesterday too. He was like, you'll never understand until you have kids, because it's like this person that you made like is trying to go against you, and you're like, what? And then like they have the nerve to just be like, I hate you, like I don't have to listen to you, like you're not my dad, or like you're not my mom. And it's like, how did this happen? Like, why did I want this?
I feel like society just like pressures us so much to like get married and like settle down. I hate that.
Yeah, society's a mess. I saw this TikTok and it was like, it's so ridiculous that we expect all like 8 billion people in the world to just like follow the same path. Like go to school, get a job, get married, have kids, like across the board. That's like the universal like standard kind of.
That's like a nightmare to me.
Yeah,
Like I've had nightmares about it.
I had a nightmare last night.